Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Ryan Tusher, and we're back again with another Canon R6 video. Today we're talking about another feature similar to the 120 FPS that was kind of a need for me in like a new camera. I really wanted one that had an internal time-lapse feature. I didn't want to have to go out and buy one of those external like remote shutter things and then put it into the camera and time-lapse, trigger, all that stuff. I really wanted it just built into the camera and have it output as like a video and be super easy, seamless, and increase the productivity in the workflow. So this camera has the internal time-lapse feature as well as an internal shutter feature. We're gonna go over those settings today, so let's roll the intro. Okay, so here we are in our Canon R6 settings. To get to the time-lapse feature, you're going to want to go over to the 5th tab on the first menu page. Here you'll find the time-lapse movie. Something important, similar to the 120 FPS, you want to make sure that you're in the video setting, otherwise it'll be grayed out and you won't actually be able to use it. So we're going to go ahead and click on it, hit enable, and then down here you're going to have a couple of settings. This is the interval. This is how long it is between the photos. Let's say you want to take a time-lapse with 10 seconds between the photos. With 300 photos, you're going to be at 49 minutes for a 10-second video, which is quite a long time for quite a short clip. Next is the number of shots. Same thing, you can also increase the number of photos you take during a time-lapse. Here we have 3,330. But you can go through and do whatever you want. I'm gonna bring this back down to 300 for the next time that I film. And of course, with 300 of them at 3 seconds, it'll take 14 minutes and 57 seconds for a 10-second film. Here you have the movie recording size. This one you can go between full HD and you can go between 4K. I always do it at full HD just because I don't really need the 4K right now. Auto exposure, you can do fixed first frame where you set the exposure for the first frame and that'll stay consistent no matter the lighting. If it gets really bright, your video will be really bright all of a sudden. If it gets really dark, it'll start getting really dark. Or you could do each frame for auto exposure. Now, if you ever choose auto exposure, you're gonna wanna go back to your menu, go back to your first page, go up to shooting mode and change this to movie auto exposure. If you don't do that, it won't actually change any of the auto exposure stuff and you'll just be annoyed whenever all of a sudden it gets really dark and it didn't change anything. Screen auto off, you can enable this if you'd like. This is basically just after like 3 photos, it'll go ahead and turn off the screen. That way it doesn't like waste battery and everything. But if you don't care about it turning off automatically, you can always disable it and then turn it off with the info button. Same thing where if you have it enabled and you want to see the screen when it's auto shut off, hit info and it'll turn it back on for you. Beep as the image is taken. This is very simple. Just as an image is taken, it'll go beep, beep, beep. I actually have the beeps turned off for my normal photos, so that's why it's grayed out for me. But if you have yours enabled, this will be white and you'll be able to go through and hit enable. Okay, so to take our time lapse, we're gonna go over and we're gonna hit our movie recording button. Once you hit that, you're gonna get a setting on the screen that says movie start stop with the shutter or return to previous screen with this, which basically just cancels the time lapse. But if you click on the movie record thing and then hit your shutter, you'll go through and you will start taking photos, and up here it'll say how many you have left with your battery. Mine's quite low, and then it'll go through and take a photo all by itself, and eventually after 14 minutes you'll have a 10-second video if you have an interval timer of 3 and a photo length of 300. And then if you ever want to cancel the video, you can just go ahead and hit the movie start stop button and it'll go through and cancel that for you. Alright, well that was a time-lapse feature for video. Super nice. It compiles it all into one video instead of having like 1,000 photos and everything. It's super nice, super easy to work with. Now if you are interested in doing photos and for like a time-lapse where you want to have control of each individual frame, there is a sister setting for that. It's called the interval timer, so let's go ahead and show that right now. Okay, so for the interval timer, we're going to go ahead and change our setting here to manual photo. You can probably do this in like auto photo, auto exposure, but I prefer to do it in manual. I like to have everything in manual, usually most of the time. So go back to your settings, and this time instead of the 5th page, we're going to go to the 6th page. Here you'll see the interval timer. Go ahead and enable it. And then, however, this time when you enable it, it won't take you to a different settings page. It'll just take you out. To actually change it, you select it and then hit the info button and on top of your little joystick turn wheel. And here you can go through and change the number of seconds between each photo. You can go through and change the number of shots. Let's say you want to take like 90 photos. Now the limit for a specified amount is 99 unless you go to 0, and then it is actually unlimited, which is actually kind of cool. So that's basically it. That's all the settings you get for the interval timer, and it works pretty much the same way as the time-lapse feature. You just start with that, and then it'll take a photo, and boom, there you go. And then to disable it, just hit the menu button after a photo is taken, and then quickly go over and hit disable, and it'll stop it for you. Alright, well thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, consider hitting the like button. If you have any other Canon R6 settings that you'd like me to go over for you and show you how to use or something like that, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more videos about the Canon R6, DaVinci Resolve, the new shorts we've been messing around with, be sure to subscribe and all that good stuff. We're super close to 300 subscribers, so thank you guys very much for all of the recent support. You're amazing. Other than that, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time.